we get to business and start coding. For this, we will adapt the adminLTE template to the model view controller pattern that from now on I will call it MVC. But do you know how the MVC pattern works? I explained that in a deeper level in other course, but I will give you a quick and easy explanation so you don't get lost on what we're going to do. MVC pattern is a kind of architectural design that separates by layers an application development. These three parts are: the model is where the logic and database connections are. The controller is the one that handles all user inputs, process them, performing interactions with the model, and show them through the views. And views are the presentations of the model in a particular format. Okay? It sounds like a tongue twister, but to make it easier for you, I will explain this with a graph. Here is the final user, the one who's in front of the screen. Here's the screen, and here's the project. So the user always will be able to see is the views. And when the user makes a request through a form or a button that needs to bring information from the database, that request goes to the controller, and this controller handles the information, debugs it, and then sends it to the model, which is hidden in the back, like in a protected bunker, and finally connects to the database, brings the information the user is requesting in a secure way, and then sends it to the controller. Then the controller returns it to the view, so the view can print it and the user can see the content. So this is a process that works in a perfect trio where each level could be more protected and the final user could not access to the sensitive information, in other words, the system's database. In this way, we can avoid cyber attacks, hacking, and we add information security to the system. Obviously, we will have to validate information through forms, the cross-origin request, cross-site scripting, and SQL injection, so we can prevent all these attacks from happening. With the MVC pattern, we can organize the code better and we can make it as modules. So when we need to add more modules, we can do it and it won't affect the others. And once for all, our project becomes more secure. Okay. To make this happen, we go to the POS folder to create our project. Previously, in other lessons, I created the index.php file. We can keep it to use it later on, but we need to delete the folders we have here. If you haven't created the index.php file, let's create it by right-clicking here, then new, then text document, then rename the file to index and then change the extension to PHP. Or you can create it from Sublime Text using the plugin I previously mentioned with the shortcut Ctrl plus Alt plus N, and then you enter the name and press enter. What do we need inside this folder? Let's create the folders we need to build our MVC pattern. Okay, we create controllers, the model or models, and views folder. Let's create it here. Okay, if you want to create the folders in your language so you can understand it better, it doesn't matter how you name them, but you have to remember those names when you need to build a path to a file inside them. Okay, you should create another folder called Ajax, which will allow us to interact to the database using JavaScript. And then we create a extensions folder where we can add plugins or extensions later, like TCPDF, for example, is the one we are going to use to convert PDFs. Okay, This is the basic folder structure for our system that goes along with index.php and another file called .htaccess. Okay, sorry, but I think we have to create it on Sublime text because the dot will cause problems when it's in Windows Explorer because it makes the file hidden. We won't be able to see it. So just press Ctrl Alt N .htaccess and press enter, and it will allow us to protect the directories folders and create the friendly URLs. Very good. Here's what we need to start configuring our system. If we go to views, this is the layer of the project where the user is going to have access. All the visual part goes here, and it is the folder where the adminLTE template file should be stored. Okay, so I will create here a file called template.php. Okay, new template and PHP. Just click yes. And some folders where we're going to save modules folder, and we will import some folders that are part of adminLTE template. Okay, let's copy Bower components from here that has lots of plugins. We will use not all and learn how to work with them. Okay, now we copy this folder. That is where the main style sheet is, images and required JavaScript files. And finally, we copy the plugins folder where we have some other plugins that we are going to use. Okay, so don't move them or cut them from the templates folder, just copy paste them in our views folder like this. Okay, it's the copying process. Okay, meanwhile we can open the views folder and open the file template.php. Okay, inside this template.php file I will paste an example page from the template. So let's go to find this examples folder, which is in adminLTE 2.4.2. This is examples, and we are going to open the blank .html page in our Sublime text. Here it is. And all this code, I'm going to select it with Control A. For example, I like to have this map on the side so I can move through the page faster. How do I enable it? Okay, you can click on View in the top bar and click to show minimap, or you can hide it. But I want to show it. Okay, so in this way I can take Control A and then paste it in my template file. Okay, this is the first step, so you can view how it is adminLTE template working under the MVC pattern. Okay, okay, we already have this already, the Bower components and all the stuff we're copying. There's something particular in the template, the paths to the folders. It looks like we're going back to the previous folder one time. Okay, if you check this, there's one time and then another one to get or to reach Bower components. So we need to change that because everything is going to be inside views. Okay, So what we need to do is select these two dots slash dots, well, these two dots, and press Ctrl H. I'm going to replace, or I'm going to find this coincidences and replace with the word views. Is um, where the plugins and the things are stored. Okay. Okay, and here is the proper path. Okay, we're not using plugins yet, but these are the correct paths to the files. Why? Because simply.php will be required by index.php. So we're going to create the controller that will require our templates project. For that, I will have to require the templates controller. First, we need to open the PHP tag with the proper syntax. Okay. Normally, you should open close the PHP tags, but if the file is going to work only PHP code, you it is recommended not to close it, because after you close the tag, you can add more code after in other languages like JavaScript or HTML. But if you don't close it, everything must be written in PHP. Okay, so we don't close the tag and we write required ones from controllers folder, the templates controller that will be called template.controller.php, and we end with semicolon. Why am I using this controller? Because I will execute a method that is going to be in that controller here in index.php through an object. The object-oriented programming, it is very important to work within MVC pattern through instances and inheriting classes and executing and declaring methods through objects. We can connect all these files that will be in different folders. Here we're going to create an object called template, which will instance a class named template controller. Okay. Where would this class be created? This class will be located in template.controller.php. For this reason, I had to require the file here so I can access to the code it's inside of it. That will be the class code template controller. So I press Ctrl+N and type the path controller slash and the name template.controller.php. Now, inside this file, what's going to happen? We open the PHP tag and we create the class by writing class template controller, and we open and close curly braces. Classes in PHP normally begin with words in capital letters and they open and close curly braces. This way, index.php through the object template controller is calling this class that is located inside the controller template. If it's calling that class, now I can use methods inside of it. How do we execute them? With this arrow, we can use any method, but for now we type CTR, that are the initials I use to identify it's a method controller, and we will name it template, okay? So now what we have to do is go to the class and declare it. In other words, create the method. It's a method that we will be public with the reserved word function and CTR template. What task is going to execute this method is going to include the method include in PHP is for including files or complete pages with PHP or HTML code. In this case, we are going to use both. So we get the whole file, which is in views/template.php. Executing this method, automatically it triggers what is there. I'm not using any conditions to execute it. So it triggers it and is going to include the templates.php inside the index.php. Let's try. We close out all these windows. We need to open the local server, and both Apache and MySQL should be started. And now I can go to localhost/POS and press enter. Okay. If you do it, you can see that the adminLTE template is here with the blank page demo version. Obviously, the links won't work because we don't have more pages enabled to work. We have to set them. Okay. So this way, easily, we just integrated the adminLTE template with the model view controller pattern. Let's add the modules that will be part of our POS system. For this, we will have to start debugging the code of the adminLTE template. I'm going to close these tabs because I will only use the file template.php, and it is what we have here right now. As I said, the adminLTE template already has the layout and the responsive design. Okay, if you right click and inspect the element, I'm using Chrome. I really like to work on this browser. You go to the device simulator here in this cell phone icon, and it shows the responsive option where you can set your own width and height. Okay, I recommend to check the responsive design in different sizes, starting ascending from 320 pixels, which is the mobile phone view in vertical position or portrait. Okay, so look how the adminLTE template organizes. Let me resize the height. The structure of the template, both for buttons and blocks. Okay, very good. The next breakpoint to check, for example, to visualize the system in a tablet is 768 pixels in vertical position or portrait. It simulates a tablet in a vertical position. So it enables the sidebar menu. We can hide it if we want. And it enlarges a little bit more the template structure. Then we will check in 1024 pixels, which is the tablet in horizontal position or landscape, and finally in 1366, which is a laptop view, and so on. Obviously, there are laptops that have a smaller screen like 1200, but that will be comprehended in the 1024 pixels breakpoint. So everything between 1024 and 1366, we will see it in 1024, and from 1366 onwards, we have full HD screen like 1920 or 1400, and so, but these are the breakpoints we're going to use for this project. So for mobile, we will use 320 pixels. For tablet portrait, 768 pixels. For tablet landscape, it will be 1024 pixels, and for PC or desktop, from 1366 pixels, and so on. These are the four breakpoints we're going to use to visualize the design in the four most important screens. So, knowing this, we can start to work in this template structure and select only the code we need to start creating modules. The template starts with HTML code. Let's hide the sidebar. With Control and the mouse wheel, down or up, we can choose the font size. So the template comes by blocks, and we can begin with our own structure and we can understand it better. We start with a title. We can write our titles project. For example, any software name like inventory system. But if you want, you can create another. I will create an image for that, a logo, and icons so we can use them in this course exercise. Okay. Then here it says that to be able to work with breakpoints and responsive design, we need this meta tag with the attribute content with these scale values, maximum scale screen, so we can work with Bootstrap breakpoints or any column system. After that, we have Bootstrap 3.3.7. This is the file for font awesome content. Then the ion icons file for other icons we can use. This is the theme CSS file the template uses, and I recommend you not to use the minified version. If you go to dist folder CSS, you have the adminLTE.min.css, which is the minified version, and then you have the normal version. We will use this version because later on we will modify some details in that file, but I will tell you what to modify later. And this uncompressed version is in cascade mode, so you can make changes in the classes easily, but the minified version is written in one line, so it will be harder to find a particular class. Okay, everything will be hidden. So we have right now the skins here. Okay, the skins. So let's use this file that contains all skins and use it minified. There's no problem. Okay, we can delete this comment. We don't need it. And I'm not going to use this because I don't need to optimize for Internet Explorer because in its version 10, this is obsolete. Okay, so let's delete it because I'm not going to have that. Then we have the Google Phone link that is bringing the typography we will use, which is Source Sans Pro. And this is the head of our system. I recommend to have both CSS plugin files and JavaScript plugin files too. Okay, like jQuery, and all the code is at the bottom of the template adminLTE. Okay, if we go there and we can find this code that is using jQuery and JavaScript files. What am I going to do is cut this code with Control X and paste it inside the head tag before the closing tag. Okay, here is. Okay, now we have all the scripts we need at the beginning. Very good. Okay, I will talk about this script that colors tags differently, and I will tell you how can we solve it. What do we do next? We go inside the head tag and write a block comment like com dash HTML section and tab, and we replace this for plugins JavaScript, and at the top area is for CSS plugins after the tag meta viewport. Okay, so we have jQuery 3, we have Bootstrap 3.3.7 Slim Scroll. I haven't mentioned it before. If you go to Google and look Slim Scroll, you will find that is for implementing a scroll bar to mask content in a container. And it has a different style or functionality options. Okay, so just in case you need to wrap a very long test, if you want, you can delete it if you don't need it or if you're not going to use it. Okay, so I'm not going to use it, so I will delete it. Okay, now we talk about the fast click. Let's talk about fast click. This is a plugin that will help us to improve the interaction in all devices and operating systems. Let's go to Google and find FastClick.js. Okay. Okay. And go to the official page. And the layer A responds to click events normally that in iOS will present a 300 milliseconds delay. Okay. The B layer improves with fast click and will activate the clicks controller with no delay. Layers will behave normally in platforms that don't allow touch events. Okay, so we can leave it here to use this plugin. Okay, there's no problem. Then we have our adminLTE file that is the core of the template. We can use the minified version because we won't make changes, but the one we will modify is this demo.js. Okay, and this is more for purposes depending on the page you're opening, and it comes with the needed scripts to execute general actions in the page. For example, this is generic. The sidebar menu could act as a tree. I mean like this, that you can open tabs and navigate menu submenu items. Okay, so So in this part, we have a green colored text that is suggesting error in HTML syntax because it's in PHP. Okay. So to solve this, I'm going to create a personalized JS file for my project. So let's go to views folder. Just wait a second. I open the sidebar. Okay. I'm going to create inside this a new folder called JS, and inside it a file called template.js to interact with the template. Okay, press enter. This file should be before the body tag to execute after the HTML code is loaded. Okay, script, source, and JS template.js. Okay, I'm going to use this file template.js to execute the function in JavaScript that we have in the template at template.php and cause error in the code. For example, this sidebar menu tree function, and let's go to the template.js file. Okay, sorry, created a folder. Let's delete it and create the file. Okay, save as template.js. Okay, paste it here and let's write a block comment and name it. Okay, com section, tab, and the title is going to be sidebar menu. And now we can delete these lines and the error disappear. This demo.js comes with a lot of scripts needed to work with some plugins of my template. And what I'm going to do is remove it. Okay, remove it from the template .php. So once I need something, depending on the plugin I'm going to use, I copy paste it in our template.js file or the appropriate file. In this way, I don't have to use all the code. So now we find the document body. Okay, okay, this finishes the head, and this is the, let's create a comment block with the name document body to organize the structure. Okay, now let's begin knowing the classes of the template. Okay, for example, this class in the body tag named whole transition, then we have the skin blue, and then sidebar mini. For example, if I want my sidebar menu collapse from the start, okay, I can go to adminLTE 2.4.2 folder, open the example that has the collapsed sidebar. Let me find it. Okay, let me check here. Okay, I think it's here. Okay, whole collapsed sidebar. And let's open it. It shows an extra class in the body. Sidebar collapse before the sidebar mini class. So copy paste it before sidebar mini. When we refresh our page, it automatically makes the change and shows the sidebar menu collapse, and I can open it from the hamburger menu button. And this is what I want. I want more area in my dashboard and only show the icons for the menu items. Okay. All adminLTE pages start with the class wrapper. You will find it in a div after the body tag, and it has a structure with a header with the class main header, and it is this one where you have the logo, these buttons, these notifications, this profile access, setting access. Anyway, this is something that will repeat, but we are going to make them as modules. So let's start deleting this code from here to make a module. Only the header and okay, the closing tag. I'm going to delete it. And then we have the SI side too. This is the left column. That will make another module later. So we select from opening tag to closing tag. Okay. And now we have the content wrapper, which is where the main content goes. I'm going to delete that too. Okay. Then we have the footer that I will remove too, and we have this other aside uh, section that we don't need for now, so I will remove it as well. So we just need the wrapper div for now. So this is the structure we need to start filling it up with modules under the MVC pattern. Okay, so if I refresh, I have nothing, but we will begin to make modules in the next video. See ya. Let's continue adding modules of our POS system. Practically, we just wrecked our template homepage to start it from scratch. Okay, I have a file here, with a bad link because the console says that it can find the template.js file. So let's add to the path the word views slash, okay, that's the right path. So this template goes to find from root folder and navigate the folders to find the files. There it is without errors, okay? Now, what do we need to do inside wrapper? We need to open a PHP tag, and this time I have to close it because we're mixing PHP with HTML. What's going to happen here? Let's change the syntax to PHP, and inside this PHP, I'm going to write include, okay, include from the folder modules. So I'm just going to take modules. I've already created this folder, and let's create a file named header PHP. So now we're going to create the file, save as header.php. Let's close these tabs and leave what we need only. Now, what do I want in my header PHP file? Let's open an adminLTE example page to check it. I would like first to have a logo, and it goes here, and it changes depending on the visualization of the sidebar menu. We can have two logo versions, this big logo when the sidebar is opened, and a small one when it's collapsed. Okay, I want to have the hamburger menu button. I'm not going to use these notifications because it's not going to be a dynamic software with a front end side that sends information to the backend. No, everything will be handled from the backend, so we don't need these notifications. I'm going to use this profile box and the sign out button to the user so the user can log out from the system. I will remove these, but there are some things I will use, okay? So for that, inside header PHP, we are going to start building the layout as the template shows, okay? We start with the header tag with the with the class main header, okay? Then we add the logo. So start a block comment. So we start organizing by parser module. Okay. And just change this to logo. Okay. Okay, first we add the logo. We open the logo with an anchor tag, open and close. And the tag, and then the href with a link that every time the logo is clicked opens in the homepage, and the class logo that is a class for adminLTE. After that, we can add the mini version when the sidebar is collapsed, or the normal logo when the sidebar is opened. Let's add a comment for the mini logo first. With control and closing curly brace, you can comment inline, and now we just change it to logo normal. Okay, I like to use block comments when it's a complete structure, and inline comment when it's only detailed element. So include logo mini, I have to add a span tag. I'm taking this information from the adminLTE folder. So drag it to the sidebar of the Sublime test, and if you open index.html, you can find the main header, and I'm just doing the same with the header, the class main header, the anchor with the href, the span with the big logo, and we close the anchor, and just I'm just showing what's going to happen, but I'm going to explain you, not just copy paste. So first we just write logo mini, and I'm going to take this img tag and the version, the logo version in a small size. So for now, I'm going to POS views and then create a folder called img where I'm going to save all my images. And I have to set different folders so it could be organized. So now we can save here the template images. Now I create another one called products. So all the images for products are stored there. And now the user images that will be stored there. So now in template, I'm going to copy paste these images. This back image is the one we are going to use for the login. And why am I using this kind of image with the construction workers? Because the example I'm going to show you is a database for construction equipment. So it's like if we have a store like construction store products. So this is the concept I'm going to use. We have these logo versions here in black and white in this horizontal position. This is a block position. This is the black one, and this black one, but it horizontal position. So I'm going to use the small white icon for this logo mini. Okay, let me copy the source. Is view img template and the image. So let's add the class img responsive from Bootstrap. And now I'm going to add inline style so it looks better. And it's a padding of 10 pixels to the icon. Okay, so for the logo normal, we're going to do something similar, but we just change the image for another one, just the white lineal with the class img responsive too. This padding I'm going to set it to 0px or pixels. From left and right it will be 0 pixels. So now we just refresh and you can see this small version of the logo. So if we want the menu to collapse and open, we need to add something else. Okay, now we just continue with the sidebar. Okay, let's copy. This is the sidebar structure. In this case, I'm going to call the navigation bar. Okay, we just add the nav tag and with these classes and this role navigation. Then I'm going to write the button that will allow us to open and close the sidebar. Okay, this is an anchor tag with a non-existent link and all these things you see written here. Okay, let's check the example. We just have one span, so let's delete these three of these ones. Just comment it. Maybe we need it for later. Okay, now we don't need to. Okay, now we can uh, collapse and open and close the sidebar. Okay, we have to change this name because I think I put it wrong. So this is Okay, let me check. Okay, let me check. Why it's not working? Okay, maybe later I will figure out what's happening, but just let me. Okay, but I think it's something with the source. I think it's okay. This I think it's not okay. Okay. Now I know what is happening. It's because I just put the same class, so it will be logo LG for the big logo. Okay. So if you see, this is the transformation when we open and close the sidebar. So now we're talking on something. Okay. Now, what else are we going to put here inside the navigation bar? Inside the nav tag, we are going to write a navigation button and comment it. And we are going to put another comment, just user profile. And inside here, we are going to put a div with a class navbar custom menu, navbar custom menu. And inside this div, we are going to put a UL with a class nav and another class navbar nav. Okay, very good. And inside this, we are going to add the following. Okay, we are going to create an LI so we can open what's going to be here. Okay, with the name and the image and all this stuff and the button to open it. Okay, it will be an li with the class drop-down user and user menu. We close the tag, and inside this we are going to put an anchor with a broken link with the class drop-down toggle and the data toggle drop-down. And we are going to put a default image. We are opening the img tag with the source. I'm going to use from my user folder another folder, just create here a default, and inside I'm going to put the default image. When the user was created, somebody doesn't select any picture, so it will take this one. So we add the source and it will be anonymous.png and the class user image. And I refresh, and if you see, there is the picture. Then we are going to add the username. We can put it inside the anchor and it will be a span tag with the class hidden -xs, and the name will be admin user or administrator user. You can put the one you like. Okay, if you see, we have this one, and because I'm just hover over an anchor, it highlights. So we just start the drop down. Let me correct this and toggle. Okay, And now we open a new L with the class drop down menu. And what's going to be here, it will be an li with user footer, but I think I can change it for another better. Let me check. Okay, this is a lot of code, so it's sometimes difficult to find. Okay, 1 second. User menu, user header, the user body, and user footer. I think we are going to use the user body, for example. And then inside it, we are going to use a div with a class pull right to pull everything to the right. And now we are going to add the button to log out. And the class for the button will be btn default, so no styles are going to apply, no colors, and then btn flat. We refresh, and it's not working now. It is because we have to put it in the proper way, um, and add the JavaScript code. But more than uh, JavaScript code, because it is inside admin LTE template, I think we have to put it inside. It will be inside the anchor where the drop down toggle is. Okay, because I put it outside, so I have to cut here and put it inside. Okay, let me tab, and here it is. If I refresh and I click here, it opens a scroll bar because this header is masked. But when I get the other content, the main content, it will be uh, it will be over everything. Okay, but we are going to do this when we open the sidebar and the content and the footer. Okay. The next module we are going to include in our system, it will be the sidebar. Here in adminLTE, we have a very nice menu that includes a search, a picture of an online person, and the navigation menu. We are going to edit the sidebar menu, the navigation menu. So we are going to template.php, and I'm going to include another module that will be the sidebar menu, or just simply menu. So let's add some comments. With PHP, we just write com-section and tab, and it writes a comment block. So now we just change it for header, and we copy it so we can change this to menu. Very good. This file doesn't exist, so we are going to create it inside our folder modules. So we can do it like Control Alt N, and we have to write views, then slash modules slash menu.php, and press enter. So here it is. Okay, very good. What are we going to do with this menu? we have to include this a side with the class main sidebar and close the tag. And now we're going to include a section with the class sidebar, and inside it we are going to build our menu with an UL with the class sidebar menu and close the UL tag. What are we going to put inside this? We are going to put some LIs. With the first LI, we put it with the class active. So this is the first button that is active. Then an anchor with the href. We are not going to set it now. And now we are going to put an icon from our icon list. I'm going to show you later. Just let's tab it so we can understand it better. And from font awesome, we are going to use the class fa and fa home that it looks like a house. And then a span tag. Inside it, we put home. So it would be the link to the home. If I refresh, it looks like, okay, it's not showing. You're going to ask what is not showing, but it is because I haven't created the main content, so it doesn't have height. So I have to include that. I'm going to create another here, a temporary content, which is changed here to content, and then we include modules and content.php and semicolon. What's going to have content.php? We are going to use the example page, the blank page, and I'm going to use only from the content. This is the A side column, and this is the final one, and this is the content section, and it's only when the content wrapper finishes. And inside the modules, we are going to create content.php. Sometimes I don't use the plugin to create the control alt n. I create it just right clicking here. So here's the content I'm going to put inside. If I refresh, it shows the button and the button logout because it's setting the height of the page. So here is toggle this sidebar. Okay, let's create more buttons. I can create all these files. Later on, we will work on them. Okay, we have a first button, so we are going to create another one. These won't have the class active because we only have one, or the one who's activated in the first place. So we are going to change this for user, and this will be user the user modules. So we are going to manage this with the different profiles of the users. If it's an administrator, or if it's a seller, or anything else. Now we just create this one. We change the file to th. There will be categories. Now we copy, and then we change this to products. We copy again, and this will be for, okay, here just change the icon for products, or products hunt, and this file users for clients. Okay, if you haven't worked with Phone before, you just open the page and the section icons, and here in the search area you can look for anything you like. Products, it looks this this icon, or for example we just categories, there's nothing. List, for example, we have all these set of options. Okay, and the one you choose, you just copy all these classes. Okay, okay, this is the thing you are going to use here in the tag I, or you can use it in the span tag too. Okay, we are going to create another li with the class tree view, and this is the one that will allow us to make a drop down menu. Okay, where the first we're going to put is an icon with the class fa dash list ul. We close it, then a span with the name sales, and another one, another span with the class pull right, so we pulled everything to the right, and we add another class. Okay, this is the first, the same class is pull right container from the adminLTE, and inside this we are going to put another icon that show us that we can open this part. So we just write the class fa angle left and pull right, and this is from Bootstrap, and we just pull to the right. We refresh and we have all this here. So in sales, this is the list, and we have this icon that show us that we can toggle our menu, our drop down menu. Okay, we create here the tree view menu, and we open another li, and these are for the buttons inside the menu, the drop down menu. Okay, this is class far from home. Awesome. We are going to use the same. This is a fast circle. O is the rounded circle, and the span with the name of the button. Manage sales. Okay, copy this. Now create sales, and this another li is going to be called sales report. Okay, refresh, and we have all these drop down menu with these items. Okay, and if I open the sidebar, okay, it looks like this. Okay, here it is, our sidebar menu. We added content, we added header now and the sidebar, and now we can add the footer. Okay, it looks really tidy here. The code is really tight comparing with this. It's really difficult to understand, but this one is better. better to read. Okay, very good. Now we are going to create the footer inside template.php. And okay, let's copy all of this and we change that to footer. Okay, and now we include and footer. Okay, let's create the file footer.php. Okay, what is going to be here inside footer? So we create the tag footer with the class main dash footer. We close the tag. Okay, this is going to the bottom of the page. Now we just create a strong with this copyright with an anchor to send it to um, the creators of the page. In this case, I'm going to use my URL is tutoriales@tualcance.com, and we are going to put the target in a new page without closing the one that we are going to create. And we just put the name tutoriales@tualcance. Dot or period. We close strong, and here we are going to put all reserved rights or right reserved. Very good. Refresh, and we have this. Okay, let me delete this in the copyright. Okay, now we refresh again, and it's excellent. Perfect. We have our work environment uh, to include everything else, like the controllers, the models, and the views. Okay. Let's create the views, the controllers, and the models of our POS system. What models are going to be these ones? Each of these managers that are going to open these buttons, we're going to have a view for this home module is going to be its controller and its model, or maybe because this is a mixture of graphs and users billing, this is not going to have a model in a specific, but it will have a home view. The users uh, it will it will need anything that is going to be with a CRUD, and the CRUD is an acronym for, let me change the font size, it is small. Okay, create, read, update, and delete. This is the interaction that we do with the database: create, read, update, and delete. So when we do accrue, we are doing a manager, and we need a user manager because we are going to create users, read users from the database, update users, and delete users. And this will be the same for clients, categories, products, and sales. So I have to make a manager for each of these modules. Okay, this products, sales, all of this. I need to do a CRUD, and CRUD we are going to do it better through a controller and a model. So here we go back to the model view pattern controller. Model controller view pattern. Okay, it goes from views, controller, and then model, and to go back to the views. So with this theory, we are going to create those modules. The first module, let me, okay, I use in the first place as a content. This is going to be the home page. Okay, I refresh, it changes this here. Maybe we can personalize this better, like home page, control panel inside these small tags. Very good. And this breadcrumb, we're going to change it. I put in home page. We delete these examples and we put this uh, as dashboard. Okay, so let's change it home page. This will be our dashboard. Okay, refresh. Very good. And now we're going to modify this content for more personalized information. Okay, this will be the base for all of our modules. Let's tab this so we can read it better. Okay, and this main content we are going to replace for useful information. Let me tab this so we can read it better. Okay, let's tab it back. Very good. So now we have this first section. It's the content header with the title of the page and a breadcrumb and the dashboard. Okay, to show the user where it is in this place. The page that will open when we click on home, we can replace this for home. And here in template.php, we change it again with home.php. Okay, now it is important to begin with the friendly URLs. If I click this, I need to open the home page. Is because it will say here home, because this is the route to open the home page. So what I'm going to do is go to the menu and start to fill the href of each link. So in this case will be home. So for this button, home, and this users button will be for users. This will be categories. This will be products. This will open the page clients. And here we're going to divide this in these three pages because sales is not going to open anything. So in this case will be sales to create sales in this one. And here will be reports. Okay. So if I refresh, these links you can see them, but if you click on them, object not found, because there is nothing inside. So I'm going to configure our htaccess so we can open our friendly URLs. Okay, the first, what we need to do is to hide everything from our page, so nobody can look for the URLs, type in, everything. And for example, if I put um, something like this, POS models, the access is forbidden. So this is why we need to put these options all indexes. Then we configure the friendly URLs. So we put rewrite engine on. Okay, it's written like this. And the rule that we are going to use is rewrite rule, and every rule is used in a regular expression. So we open parentheses, the plus, and then the dollar sign. Okay, inside braces, we we write the allowed characters in the URL. So we will allow dash A to C in small caps, and then A to C in big caps, and numbers. And maybe if we are going to separate the URLs, we need to use the slash. But we are not going to use this because it's only a backend system. But maybe if you're going to use a web page like an e-commerce, you need to have the friendly URLs with uh, with more layers. Okay, but in this case we're not going to use it, so we can delete the slash. Okay, okay, let's do something. Just then, the when it's sending this with through the index.php with that variable root equal, any value needs to convert with a friendly URL. Okay, any value inside the variable root, it becomes the URL. So I can do here, if variable is set, this I'm going to get the variable called ruta, in this case root will be the root, and that uh, variable root, so I get another time, it has a value equal to home, or in this case inicio. I include the module inicio.php, that will be the home. I refresh. I don't have the home page, but if I click on that button, it opens the home page. So this is what I just did. But if I haven't used the htaccess, I will have to do something like the whole variable here, all the root, like this, with the variable and then equal to inicio. Okay, so I refresh and I click here, and it shows the URL, the complete URL, showing was the variable get. So this is what I'm doing here in the ht-access. I'm just hiding this portion of the code. So it reads the variable, and now the it hides the root of the URL. Now, what do I have to do? What happened if I use the word users? There's no page with the name user. So what we need to do is just add these words, so it will allow to do this. Okay, so I'm going to concatenate here with the dot, or if variable root is not home and is users, so in this case it's going to get to call the variable ruta, and it will be users .php. If it's not, it will be categories, and if it's not categories, it's going to be products, or then it's going to be clients, and then it will be ventas, or in this case sales, or create sales, crear venta, or reports. These are the keywords that we are going to create the modules. Okay, save as, because this file has the structure, so we can use it as a base. In this case, we are going to manage users. We can delete this small, and in this case I change this to user management. Save as, categories. So this is a new folder, sorry, a new file. So this will be manage categories, so with products. So we do the same with all the modules we have to create. Products, clients in this case, sales, save as, create sales, or create cell. If you see, I select with Control D the matching um, the matching words. Okay, and reports, sales reports. Very good. We have all the modules that we need in this white list of words that if I refresh, if I click on categories, it comes with categories. It opens categories. If I click products, it opens products. If I click clients, If I click and create cells and report cells, here are all my views inside my URL, friendly URLs. If I click the logo, I would like to use the same as the home page. So let's refresh it. If I click the logo, it redirects to the home page. So now what we need to do is the controllers. Okay, I I need to do the CRUD for the user. So it will be users controller. Now we are doing the same for the other models. This case products, clients, sales dot controller dot php, and the same will go here in models. So users dot model dot php, save as categories dot model dot php, and so on. Products dot model dot php, clients, and sales dot model dot php. If I'm going to use these controllers and these models, I need to require them in our index.php. So let me copy paste this here to duplicate and then edit. User, categories, products, clients, sales. And these are will be models. So I can select this with Control D as I told you before, and this will be model in singular. So we have all the views, all the controllers, and all the models instantiated, so we can start the dynamic interaction. Okay. Before we begin to create the dynamic part of our project, we are going to create the 404 page, and it's the one that is going to open when any user wants to open another page different than the ones that we set. For example, we are going to put cabezote. It will show an error because it's not uh, finding this file. Okay, but this case, the error is because I'm repeating the controller template. Is So we have to change this. We have to delete it from here so we can create our own. Okay. Okay. Now we go back and it will show this page incomplete because it doesn't find the content inside this. For example, anytime that someone types anything that's different of our whitelist, it will show this page. So I'm going to do something here. Let's close this, and we are going to open the template.php file where we have this condition, our friendly URLs. We can set here an else if these URLs are not included in the root. We can open this 404.php file. Okay, let's create that. Save as 404.php. What's going to be inside this file is the same structure as clients, for example. We select it and paste it here. Is going to be page not found, and we change it here in the breadcrumb, and in the main content we are going to delete this. Okay, and we leave this section part with the class content, and we create a div with the class error page that is from adminLTE, and I'm taking these classes from the adminLTE template, and this h2 with the class headline text primary, and with the word 404, another div with the class error content. Okay, if I go to adminLTE and you go to pages and then examples and you open the 404.html, you see everything here the same as I am creating. And here is error page, breadcrumb, we're gonna make then the main content, then all of these error content, and this is what I'm writing here. What's going to be inside error content is h3 with an icon with the FA warning and text primary. Let's close this h3, and inside it we just type oops, page not found. And we put inside a paragraph and go to the sidebar menu and find the available pages, or you can go back to the home page, just clicking here. So now we have this inside. So you see here what we're going to show when someone tries to open a link that doesn't exist. What happens if I have this? For example, if I got this, and if I'm not using the get URLs, I'm going to put an else, and when the root is empty, it goes to index.php. Okay, this is really organized now. If we type something different, we go to 404 page, and if I go to home page, okay, now we can manage the databases and make the profile user and log in inside the system. So if he has or the user has a password and user. And before we move forward, we are going to change this favicon icon. We go to template.php, and with the tag link, we just put in the rel icon. We go to views, img, template icon, and there it is. In this way, we have a little bit of aesthetics to the page in the browser. Okay, we are going to move forward to the login page. Let's work on the login page. This page is the example of the adminLTE. If you go to examples, you go to login using adminLTE. There's something basic, really easy, and this is the first page that we need to find first. Okay, it will be before the user can see everything that I show here. For this, we are going to do the following. First, we are going to open the adminLTE example. The login.html is the same as the structure, so we just need to work on what we need. Inside this body is it has this class login page as the first characteristic. The different characteristic, it doesn't have the class wrapper, and it is really common in the adminLTE pages. So it begins with the login box div. So what I'm going to do is separate the system contents when someone is logged in, from the other one when it's not. So when someone is logged in, is going to open the wrapper class. Okay. With an echo, we can open class wrapper, and it has to be with simple. Okay, now we close this div. Okay, why did I just do that? Because through this condition, I'm going to validate if the user uh, is logged in or not. If session variables, in this case, we can call it um, begin session. Okay, if this variable exists, we can know that with the isSet. If this variable is set and this variable session is okay, is equal to okay, is because the user has logged in the system. So if the user is logged in, we are going to put all the content of our system. Okay, let's put it here, including the footer and the wrapper inside this condition. Now, if the person is not logged in and that is not the variable session is not okay, we put the module login.php, but we are going to create it now. So if if we want to create this login.php, we need to use this login page. Okay, so we can put it here so we can use it in this login page. Okay, we don't have this class wrapper. This is why I put it in this condition in the variable session. And when it is finishes, but the model login is going to go with this login box with adminLTE from here to this close login box. Okay, just copy, and we are going to create that module login.php. Okay, login.php, and we paste it here. Okay, if you notice, because I didn't have any section started, so immediately it goes to the login.php. So if I go to put the access credentials, I could access to the system, but we are going to adjust this to something that we would like. Okay, let's organize this because it's really messy. Right, I think it is better to add spaces so we can read it better. Okay, okay, yeah, we are going to delete some boxes that we don't need. For example, in this case, we don't need this login logo, but we can use our logo with views, img, this logo white with the class img responsive, and just add an style, an inline style with the padding 30 pixels, 100 pixels left, 0 in the bottom at the bottom, and at the left 100 pixels. And this will be my logo inventory system. Then we have this text. We can replace it for log into the system or whatever you like. We have a form, and we just use the method post that we are going to cover in later. Okay, it looks organized. We are going to ask for this input, this text. It will be with the class form control, and the placeholder will be user, and that will be the username of our application, and the attribute name to send the variable session and the variables. Okay, and they will be required. Okay, we can leave this icon, but we change it for glyph icon user. Then we have another div for the password, placeholder password, the attribute name, ing password, and required. Okay, the placeholder is what you put inside the input before someone writes something. Then we have a class called row, where we have a div with a column 8 with a check. We just delete this because we don't need it. we have this div with this column that is from the mobile view, and this contains the button just to log in here, and we don't need this, and we don't need this as well. Okay, okay, this is only be administered with a super account. So if someone forgets the password, will be asked for the super account to send it to their emails. Okay, now we can put something as a background, but we are going to do this in our style sheet, and it comes by default with adminLTE. Okay, in this case is this one. Okay, I can interact with the background of this page, and we go to the login, just look for the login. So it goes here. Okay, it contains the password input and the login button. Okay, the page login and the register. And in this part, I'm going to put a background image because it looks better for me. The background is going to be linear gradient, and just add a color. This is a black, and we can combine it with another RGBA. It will be 0, 30, 50, and 1 for the opacity. No opacity. Okay, I refresh. Apparently, it doesn't change anything because it's in uh, local server. So we need to delete the cache. So everything is. So we need to click here. So here we need to open the here, but a faster way to do it, we can install an add-on on Chrome, and we can from the Chrome Web Store, and you can install it. Okay, add Chrome extension. I already have it. So in this case, we don't need to open the the, the CSS file and then update. So you can do it by one click, and it updates the changes to the adminLTE template. Very good. So it shows our login styled login page. Or if you want to put some different colors, for example, I want to create a new div, and I'm going to use an ID as a back, and here I'm going to put inside login page and login box, and I'm just login page. I'm just writing login page and back. So this class login page is here in the template. So here just write with position absolute, top 0, left 0, with 100% height, 100 viewport height. This is the viewport height, a background where I'm going to use a background image. Why am I using this dot dot slash? Because the adminLTE CSS is inside this, so I have to go back with these 2 points. I'm going to go again, and it goes to views, and then I'm going to img folder, and then I enter to template, and then back dot png. But here I have this image. Then this is the one I'm going to use for my login page. Semicolon. This background size is covered, so it covers all the page. This overflow hidden with no scroll, and this set index is -1. So it is behind the login box. Okay, if you see, it's really nice. If I go to a mobile version, for example 320, the access will be like this: 768, 1024, and 1366 from a PC or a laptop. Okay, this is our login page and ready to interact with databases. Let's talk about login session. We have all the structure ready and available to connect to our database. Check the user credentials access, like username and password, have to match with the ones we have stored in the database, and he can access to the system. To have access to the database, we need to open first the page localhost / phpMyAdmin. This is the page that will allow me to manage the databases inside the local server sham. Very good. I can change the language from here to Spanish in this case, depending on the one you choose. And now I go to the tab Databases. The database I'm going to create, I will name it POS because it is a point of sale system. Okay? And the collation, I will look for UTF-8 Spanish CI. Let's look. So it has Latin characters, and it is case insensitive. I mean, it doesn't matter if the character is uppercase or lowercase. So you can choose the one for your language, but in case you just want to use English, you can choose the UTF-8 General CI. Okay, I select it and I click Create. Excellent. We've just created our database POS. Now, what tables are we going to create in our database? Okay, our database will have tables for user, categories, products, clients, and sales administration. So we have to create first, or we are going to create first, a table for the user administration. Okay, let's write it. Users here. That table will have several columns. Okay, let me write it here. We will have an ID to identify the items, and each could be different than the other, making an increment. Okay, we will have a column for the name. We will have um, a nickname. Okay, because it's different than the name. We will create a password, the profile, the kind of role the person is going to have. So we are going to define 3 profiles depending on the the roles we have. We just start with 3 and they will be static. But if someone wants to add more of them, they can do it. So we will create an administrator so he can access to all the application. He can create, delete, and do everything in the content. Then we will have the special. This special is the one that can manage or can add products to the database. He can add categories of products. He can be in charge of the stock or administrate only the stock. And he can access with password and username, but he can't access to create users or to print bills or anything else. Can He can delete products or edit them. And the last one is the seller. And this user could access only to clients and sales. This seller could create clients. Uh, for example, if he has to create a client to add it to the cell, but he can't delete them. Every every cell that goes into the system, it has to be deleted by the administrator, but none of the other roles can delete them. So this is all the 3 profiles. We will have a picture. We will use default image. We have the status because we can inactivate or we can activate some users depending on how they can access, for example, on the weekends, and he can access only on the weekdays. Then we can save the last login in case there's something to correct, and we can know the last login of that user and the date of creation of that user. Okay, we have 9 columns that we are going to create for this table. So we just put it here and then continue. So the first is going to be the ID with the auto increment. So, and it is the primary key. We put the name with the type text, the user with the type text, the password, it is type text as well, the profile, so type text too, picture, so type text too, status, it could be numeric, 0 is inactive and 1 is active, but it's always in 0. And last login, it is it could be daytime, so we can use the date and hour, and we have date with timestamp. So it is automatically created when the user is registered. So we just save, and we have all the structure for our user table. So we are going to create the admin user. So name, it could be user, administrator. The nickname or the username could be admin. The password could be admin123. The profile is administrator. The picture, we can leave it empty. So if the field is empty, it chooses a default image. And the status will be 1. The last login, we don't have it, and the date is the current timestamp. So there it is after being created. The user, the nickname, it could be admin, password is admin123, profile administrator, photo empty, and the date is the timestamp. So with this, I can go to my system, and I can make the login and start the session. So we are going to make the login. Okay, we close this, and we just have to use the login.php. So this is the form where it starts, and it is going to send data from the variable post. So we are going to create an object before closing this tag form. So we open a PHP tag, and this object is going to be $login, and this is going to instantiate a class inside the controller, the user controllers. So to execute this method called CTR user login, or you can name it whatever you want. So I'm instantiating this inside control user. So we just open this file, users.controller.php, and we are going to create the class controller users. Let me delete this. And the first I'm going to do is a method for the user login. So this method is public. It's a function called CTR ingreso usuario, but you can choose, for example, login user. So it has to be the same name in these two files. So now we can ask for the variable post. Okay, this alert, it is thanks to the PHP syntax error, and it is because I haven't closed this statement. Okay, I have to close the curly braces, open and close curly braces. Okay, what parameter I'm going to send? We are going to send this ing user and ing password, the ones that are inside the attribute name. So these ones are the post variables. So $post and the name of the variable. So if this variable is set, it is because um, the variable exists. Okay, and now I can do another question. Okay, let me check this. It is because the if is not finished. So I want to check here if I want to check the characters. So I won't allow special characters. So I'm going to use this function preg match. So the pattern is going to be this one. I'm going to paste it here, and it means that is alphanumeric characters. Okay, A to C in uppercase and number, but I'm not going to allow uh, these kind of special characters. Okay, but this is because we don't want to allow the SQL injection so the system can't be attacked. So we put the ing user here with the variable post, and now we are going to add another for the password. Okay, and here is ing password is with the same expression because the password is only with alphanumeric characters as well. Very good. Here I'm going to send to the table users in the database the following information. I'm going to send through variable item to consult the column user, this column user, that's the nickname, and the value I need to consult is the one that is inside the variable post ing user, and we are going to ask for an answer from the model. So let's invoke the model users, the method mdl show users, and we are going to send these parameters, sorry, table, item, and value. So what is the difference executing a class like this or like this one? I'm going to explain this. Executing a class in this way is creating an object that we will execute without filter and automatically the method I'm asking for from the class. But if I do it like this, I'm executing this method, but the answer that will do, I'm putting it inside a variable. Okay, and then I can use it or not. Okay, here is everything is using it automatically, but in here is stored in this variable. Okay, I can do it from the controller or I can do it like this. Okay, but in this case, this is the difference, uh, these two ways of instantiating a method. So I'm asking for an answer that I'm going to show you with a bar dump. So this is the controller asking for an answer to the model. So let's go to the model to create the class and the method. So we go to users.model.php. We open the PHP tag, and I'm going to require the connection to the database, where I have to require to the connection.php, and I'm going to save it here. So this connection.php is going to have a class connection with C uppercase and a method called conectar or connect, and we are going to create a new class is PDO, because this connection we are going to make it with the class PDO that is really secure. So the parameter for the connections PDO first is the connection to the server, then is the user, then is the password, and then is a parameter that will allow us to use special characters or Latin characters. So the first parameter is MySQL uh, colon host equal localhost semicolon DB name is the name of the database equal POS. So this is the first parameter. The second parameter, let me put it here. This is the user root. This is the default user that we have in the local host. If I go to local server and user accounts, I can use some of these, any of these I can use, or I can create another one. So when we put it in a hosting, we have to create a new one because it's secure. But by now we can take this one right now. Okay, so it is empty. This is empty password. And now we can evaluate what is going to be here in this variable link. So I'm executing the method exec. So everything that comes with Latin characters, we can receive them without a problem. So we use set names UTF-8. So this is a code that will allow us to use Latin characters. So we return the connection. Very good. With this, I can go back to the model where I'm requiring the connection. We are going to create the class model users. This class is being instantiated, and we put a block comment that shows that we are going to show users. Now this method public, I'm going to put it with the parameters. So this function mdl show users, I'm going to pass some parameters. This is the first one is table, item, and value. Okay, we open and close curly braces. When we are using these parameters, we have to put this method with the word static because some of the errors in servers. So we have to put it before the word public. So here we are going to use a PDO object. Is $stmt and is going to invoke the answer to the method connection and then the function conectar or connect, and then we are going to prepare a SQL sentence that we are going to prepare in the next class. Okay, continuing with the login session, we are going to prepare the SQL sentence. This will be a select. Inside the CRUD, it will be the read part. When we are going to read what is inside the database, and we are going to read everything that is going to be written here. So I'm going to read anything that goes inside user column. So we are going to say that select all the column from our database where the table where our column users, that it goes inside the variable item, it is equal with a parameter with the with this column with the that is required for the PDO, with this column that will be a parameter that is going to be linked. So we just create this variable stmt with bin param that will link a parameter. As a first parameter is it goes colon, that it goes a PHP variable with the dollar sign. So we are going to concatenate it here. So it will be dot item, and then we will be compared with the value that it goes with this variable value, and this PDO parameter is going to be a string. So we just write param string, param str. Okay, we just are evaluating strings, and then we just execute the preparation of the SQL sentence, and then we return with this fetch. So this is to return only one item, only one item. So if something that comes from the value in the database, so the value matches with this user field, so it's going to be here, and it receives it the bar dump. We update, we refresh, admin 1 2 3, and it comes with an array, and it takes all the row. It comes with the user, the name, the password. So it found everything. It found the user, and it returns everything. So now I can compare this answer. So if I put here only the user, so it always show only the admin. If I put something else, it is going to be null. So there is nothing that matches with the user I'm typing. So I can ask here if answer user is equal or equivalent to ing user, and answer password is equivalent to what the variable post ing password. So it means that I can log in into the section, but if I don't, I can put an echo that prints a div with the class alert from Bootstrap, alert danger. So it goes red, and the user sorry, the user, oh no, it's better to use error to error on login, try again. Okay, just put the semicolon. Okay, if this is doesn't match, it shows this echo. Let's try it. Just refresh, and it shows error to log in, and just okay, we can put a BR here, so it's not it has a space between these two button this button. But if is if it matches, welcome to the system, for example, we can put it in this part. Okay, admin 123 and login and welcome to the system, because the credentials are okay. If I put a wrong password, there's a error to log into the system. Okay, now we can do the login with the session variables. So what variable sessions did we create? Let's go to template. Okay, this is iniciar sesión, or the one you chose. We close the bracket and it's equal to OK. We set this variable to OK. And now we're going to tell it with an echo that we can redirect to with JavaScript, and we put window dot location equal home. So in this case, it will be redirect to the home page. So if I'm using variable session, we need to use the session start. So we are going to put it here on the top of template.php, so we don't have any problems with the PHP version. So we just start the PHP tag and we write the method session start, so we can start the session variables in this template. With this method, we can use variable sessions. So it triggers the variable session. It means that here in this template.php, this variable exists, and it exists, and the variable is set to OK. Okay, we just write here, and it goes to home page. Well, we'll be ready to very good. With this, we can create the button to log out, that is with the logout button in the next class. Okay.